Okay, dear students, good afternoon one and all. Is it audible? Okay, today's class is on frequently asked questions with answers for the short questions in Unit 5. Okay, on Unit 5 topics, we already covered. We have already covered the topics in the Unit 5 are the introduction to backtracking, the general method, the 8 queens problem, sum of subsets, graph coloring, Hamiltonian cycles. These are the topics covered in Unit 5. That means Unit 5 chapter is completed. Now we want to go through some of the questions frequently asking in the previous exam question papers, in JNT exam question papers, the short answer questions and essay type questions we will discuss. In today's class, only short answer questions we can discuss. Now go to the first question. Draw the state space tree along with answer nodes for 4 queens problem. So this is the question. Now we need to draw the state space tree. State space tree. Along with answer nodes for 4 queens problem. Now see this one. 4 queens problem. In 4 queens problem, what is a 4 queen problem? First of all, there is a 4 rows and 4 columns in the chessboard, that is 4 by 4, 16 square chessboard, a chessboard with 16 squares. Now we are placing the queens in the chessboard such that no any 2 queens will attack each other. So we have 4 queens to be placed on a 4 by 4 chessboard, satisfying the constraint that no 2 queens should be in the same row, same column, or in the same diagonal. So the solution space, according to the external constraints, consists of 4 to the power of 4. 4 to the power of 4. 4 tuples, that is Si, the set is with 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tuples. So the value of I is in between 1 and 4. Whereas, according to the internal constraints, They consist of factorial 4 solutions. That is the permutation of 4. So we have external constraints and internal constraints. Based on external constraints, 4 to the power of 4 is the solution space, whereas based on internal constraints, it is factorial of 4 solutions. That is permutation of 4. So we can solve 4 queens problem through backtracking. By applying the backtracking, we want to solve the 4 queens problem by taking it as a bounding function. In use the criterion that if x1 to xi is a path to a current E node, okay, current the path is on to a current E node, then all the children nodes with the parent-child siblings x of I plus 1 are such that x1 to xi plus 1 represents a chessboard configuration in which no queens are attacking. So we need to place the queens on the chessboard such that no queens are attacking with each other. So we start with the root node at the only live node. So we have the root node for the tree. This time this node becomes the E node and the path is empty set. We generate the next child. So suppose we are generating the child in ascending order. Suppose you are generating the child in ascending order. Thus the node number 2 is generated and path is now 1. So if we generate in ascending order, node number 2 is generated. That is the queen 1 is placed in the first row and in the first column. We have a chessboard, 4 by 4 chessboard. In that first row and first column, you are placing the queen. Now node 2 becomes the next E node and live node. Further, try the next node in the ascending nodes, that is the node 3. Node 3 you can try, which is having x2 equal to 2 means queen 2 is placed in the second column. So x2 equal to 2. See here. See here, we have the x2 equal to 2. So x2 equal to 2 means that is the node, the queen 2. Queen 2 is placed in the second column. In the second column, we are placing the queen 2. But by this, the queen 1 and 2 are on the same diagonal. So when you place queen 1 in the first column, first row, and the queen 2 in the second column, second row, then there is a diagonal attack for the queen 2 by the queen 1, or queen 2 and queen 1 attack each other since those are placed in the diagonal way. Since in each row we are placing one queen. First row, queen 1. Second row, queen 2. Third row, queen 3. Fourth row, queen 4. Like this, we are placing the queens. Suppose if you place first row, first column, queen 1. second row, second column, queen 2. There is a diagonal attack. So node 3 becomes the dead here. So we backtrack it and try the next node, which is possible. So you need to backtrack to the previous node and again try to find the next node. Here the x2 equal to 3. See, x2 equal to 3 when you try alternative path. See here, we have x2 equal to 3. So x2 equal to 3 means the queen 2 is placed in the third column. Now we are placing the queen 2 in third column. Suppose in the diagram, in the tree diagram, x2 equal to 2 means queen 2 is placed in the second column. x2 equal to 3 means queen 2 is placed in the third column. That means after equal to 2 is there, after equal to 3 is there. The meaning is that particular queen number with 2 is placed in third column, or x2 equal to 4 means queen 2 is placed in the fourth column. So here 3 means the queen 2 is placed in the third column as it satisfies all the constraints, so it becomes the next live node. So check if you place queen 2 in the third column, then it will not be attacked by queen 1. So they are in the safe position. They are satisfying the constraints. So this becomes the next live node. After this, try for next node 9 having x3 equal to 2, which means the queen 3 is placed in the second column. Now see the diagram, you can easily understand. So after this, try for the next node 9 having x3 equal to 2. Now x3 equal to 2 means queen 3 is placed in second column, which means the queen 3 is placed in the second column, but by this line, the 2 and 3 queens are on the same diagonal. That is, second queen and the third queen, they are in the same diagonal, so it becomes dead. So now we try for next node 11. Next node 11 with the x3 equal to 4. Now you can try here. But again, the queen 2 and 3 are on the same diagonal. So queen 2 and queen 3 are on the same diagonal. But again, the queens 2 and 3 are on the same diagonal. So it is also a dead node. So in this diagram, if you observe, that is, we have B means denotes the dead node. There is no further path from this dead node. We can kill this path. We try for all possible solutions for the queen 3, and if not any position satisfy all the constraints, then backtrack to the previous live node. Again backtrack and try for the from the previous node. See, here we have the representation of 4 by 4 chessboard. In the 4 by 4 chessboard, first you have placed at first row, first column, queen 1. Suppose next you are placing in the second column, then it will attack. So that is why you are placing the queen 2 in the third row, second column. See, queen 2 should be placed in the second row. But what is about the column? In which column you are placing? So that is in third column. So we are placing the queen 2 in the third column. See here, we are placing the queen 2. So again, we are placing the queen 2 here. Okay, then check here. If you place queen 2, then it will attack and the queen 3 in the third row, second column, then it will attack diagonally. So that is why you are changing the, again move backtrack and apply, and then change the position of queen 2 to column number 4. Column 4. Okay, now when I want to place the queen 4, is it possible to place queen 4 at any point of the fourth row, at any cell of the fourth row? It is not possible. That is why we need to backtrack and change the position of queen 3 to the, and again check the position of queen 2, again move to the position of q1, then change the q1 and q2, q1 column, then you can place the q2 in second row. Now change the q3, q3, change the q3 which is in place second column. Now you can move it to first column. See the figure, this one. Now you can place the queen 4 in the third column. Okay, this is the final solution figure. You can easily understand. See the diagram of 4 queens, how they are placed such that to reach the our goal state by satisfying the constraints. Now the node 13 becomes the new live node with x equal to 4. Means queen 2 is placed in the fourth column. Now we are placing the queen 2 in the fourth column. Move to the next node 14. It becomes the next live node with the x-ray equal to 2. With x-ray equal to 2 in the node 14. Means the queen 3 is placed in the second column. Further we move to the next node 15. With x4 equal to 3 is the live node. But this makes the queen 3 and 4 on the same diagonal, resulting this node 15 is dead node. So we have to backtrack to the node 14. Okay. So finally, if you continue the process each and every time when you reach the dead node, you again move back and apply the backtracking, try for the alternative path. Since when this path is not promising, not reaching the goal node, you can try for alternative one. Okay. So finally, all the constraints are satisfied. So the desired result for 4 queens. What is the desired result for 4 queens? Where you finally where we have placed the queen 1 is placed in the first row, second column. Okay, second column. So 2 we are representing. Queen 2 is placed in the third column. That is fourth column. So 4. Queen 3 is placed in the first column. Queen 4 is placed in the third column. So in this way, you can represent as 2, 4, 1, 3. Okay, next question. Go through the next question. Why backtracking always produces an optimal solution? Justify. This is the question asked in the previous J&K question paper in 2 marks question. Actually, backtracking always does not produce optimal solution. So there is no justification for this. Okay, next question. State and explain M colorability decision problem. What is M colorability decision problem? What is M? M is the number of colors. What is our colorability problem? Color problem. We are assigning the colors to nodes of the graph. Adjacent vertices or adjacent nodes should not have the same color. So see this one. Any problem for which the answer is either 0 or 1 is called a decision problem. Decision problem ఎప్పుడు అంటాం? దానికి ఆన్సర్ 0 కానీ 1 కానీ. Okay, an algorithm for a decision problem is termed as a decision algorithm. So any problem that involves the identification of an optimal, either minimum or maximum value of a given cost function is known as an optimization problem. So generally optimization algorithm we are using for solving the optimization problem. Consider this one. Let G be a graph and M be a given positive integer. Generally in graph coloring problem, graph is given, that particular graph name is G, and some number of colors are given. We have to use those colors and assign the colors to the nodes. Suppose M is the positive integer that indicates the number of colors. So the nodes of G can be colored in such a way that no two adjacent nodes have the same color, at only M colors are used. So we are using the M colors. The constant is no two adjacent nodes have the same color, should not have the same color. Two adjacent nodes should not have the same color. This is termed the M colorability decision problem. This is called M colorability decision problem. So that if D is the degree of the given graph, suppose a graph is given, we calculate the degree of the each vertex, and finally the degree of the graph. A vertex with the highest degree is the degree of the graph. Then it can be colored with D plus 1 color. We can color with D plus 1 color. Suppose a degree of a graph is 3, for example. Then you can color the graph with 4 colors. So M colorability optimization problem asks for the smallest integer M for which the graph G can be colored. So we are taking the smallest integer M. This integer is referred to as the chromatic number of the graph. The color of each node is indicated next to it. దాని తర్వాత color of each node is indicated. So if 3 colors are needed to color the graph, then the graph's chromatic number is 3. Suppose when you want to color a simple graph or a graph given, it needs only 3 colors. 3 colors are enough to color the nodes, to assign the color to each node. By satisfying the constraint that adjacent nodes should not have the same color, then only 3 colors you have used, then the chromatic number is 3. Now see the next question. Define implicit and explicit constraints of backtracking. So we are in backtracking, we are using the, we can apply for several problems. So after these problems, okay, when you consider backtracking, we have the constraints, implicit constraint and explicit constraint. What is implicit constraint? What is explicit constraint? Suppose implicit constraint are rules that determine which of the tuples in the solution space of one that satisfy the constraint, the criterion function. So implicit constraints describe the way in which the axes must relate to each other. What is about explicit constraint? Explicit constraints are the rules. Implicit constraints అయినా explicit constraints అయినా అవన్నీ కూడా రూల్సే. Okay, that restrict each xi to take on values only from a given set. Values are taken from a given set. So explicit constraints depend on the particular instance I of problem being solved. Whatever problem we are solving, so based on that, we have the explicit constraints. All tuples that satisfy explicit constraints define a possible solution space for I. So what are the tuples which are satisfying the explicit constraints? We need to consider those tuples. Those are the solutions for the solution space for the I. So I means here problem instance. Okay. Examples of explicit constraints: xi greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, or si is equal to all non-negative real numbers. All non-negative real numbers means positive real numbers. Positive real numbers means xi greater than or equal to 0. Positive real numbers with 0 is xi greater than or equal to 0. That is the explicit constraint. And all non-negative real numbers. Suppose xi is equal to 0 or 1, xi equal to 0 or 1, or si equal to 0 comma 1. Okay, li less than or equal to xi less than or equal to ui, or si is equals to a li, a is in between li to ui. So lower bound, upper bound we are taking. So these are the explicit constraints, explicit conditions. Based on that, we need to consider backtrack. So we have implicit constraints and explicit constraints. So many of the problems we solve using backtracking require that all the solutions satisfy a complex set of constraints. So whatever problem we are solving by using backtracking, which needs complex set of constraints to be followed, should satisfy the complex set of constraints. So mainly the constraints are divided into implicit constraints, explicit constraints. Okay. Now see the fifth question. Define state space tree, E node, and a dead node. What is a state space tree? What is the E node? And what is the dead node? So state space is the set of all paths from root node to other nodes. Set of all paths from root node to other nodes is the state space tree. Now what is E node? Okay, state space tree is the tree organization of the solution space. So one solution Okay, dear students, is it audible? Is it audible? Okay. Okay, already explained about implicit constraints and explicit constraints. Implicit constraints and explicit constraints. Now, what is E node? We have E node. E node is the live node whose children are currently being generated or explored. So, dead node is a generated node that is not to be expanded any further. So, dead nodes are not expanded any further. So, all the children of a dead node so live nodes are killed using a bounding function to make them dead nodes. So define chromatic number. What is a chromatic number? That is the sixth question asked. So the definition of chromatic number is the minimum number of colors required to properly color any graph. To properly color any graph.
Okay, dear students. Or another definition for chromatic number is the minimum number of colors required to color any graph, such that no two adjacent vertices of it are assigned the same color. Okay, with this class, okay. Thank you to all the students who attend for the class. Okay.